Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again on this beautiful Tuesday to continue our main story questline post Heavensward. And it looks like we have 2 more short patches to do, so hopefully we can make some good progress. Yeah, we found Papa Limo and Yida yesterday, and we've been kind of mixing it up with the little Alamigo peoples over there in Thanalan, and now we're back in the Rolling Stones, getting ready to pick up a new quest to start the next post-patch, which is... which post-patch is it? It's 3.5, The Far Edge of Fate Part 1. So, yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, we get to talk to Tataru. Hello, Tataru. Tataru says, Nyra, just the hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? I need you to meet me at the Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. Alright, Tataru. Where's the Diamond Forge? Okay. So we get to go back out. Okay. Let's see. Somewhere in this direction. Oh, there it is. I think it's down below. Oh. The store? Oh, yep. Destination. Alright. And we have a cutscene, alright. Tataru! Tataru says, I'm sorry to drag you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. Okay. What? Why are they all smiling at me? Tataru says, right, everyone, ready to go to work? No squirming now. Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. Why do I want to close my eyes? Oh! Tataru, you're evil. Oh, she giggles, oh no. Okay, after all that, Tataru says, there, all finished. The Warrior of Light's every measure from heroic head to intrepid toe. Okay. Okay, Tataru continues, well, wouldn't you like to know? All in good time, Nyra. All in good time. Poor giggling. Yida! What's Yida doing here? She goes, aha! Found you! Yida, I'm gonna run away outside with you. Okay, Yida says, Alphinold wants everyone in the Solar for a meeting. I don't know what it's about, but he seemed to think it was very important. Okay. Tataru says, go on, we have everything we need. No sense in keeping everyone waiting. Scared of that lot. Excuse me.
We're here. Did we miss anything?
Turn that on.
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Orianger has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Yes, but for what exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphino, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Preamble.
Thank you, Elise. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention.
Sibling
and while I
squabbles.
stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Is that all? Oh, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
I just noticed something. Everybody has white hair except for Krill.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention. As my tenure as commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
Should none of our number step forward, must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede she might struggle to balance her new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Thancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations. Have we not become sufficiently familiar with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Oh my goodness! You're... Help! I need some help here!
What?
Tataru, are you all right?
Me? I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Oh.
Narco! God, how did... Y'shtola! Please, you have to help her.
Kral, a hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
There's a stray cat.
Now, we've staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again. Though having seen your wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all. Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Alamegan Resistance. I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Aye, and on no easy target. He means to assault Belsar's wall from the Alamegan side.
Oh.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Alamigo, to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
Hello.
His plan is flawed. Even should the Resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I shall depart for Limsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours. Alphino and Alize, make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She will duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive. You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emeric, and encourage him to send an envoy. To Taru, Kyle, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
I suspect the ill tidings from Gyr Abania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end. The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice. 'Twas Master Louisoix himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied. And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice, as you will yours.
Ooh. All right, let's see. We need to go speak to the Knights Most Heavenly. Which means we get to teleport. And my game is going great. How about you? Do you play Final Fantasy? This way. Right, I need to go this way. Lucia, where are you? There she is. Found Lucia. Alright, Lucia. Lucia says, "Greetings, warrior of light. What business brings you to Ishgard?" Well, you see, there's this thing. Lucia says, "I see. Wait here. I will summon Sir Emeric." Oh, that's sad. That is so sad. Okay, so we've been talking to Emeric. Emeric says, "I cannot say who who will represent us. However, as the choice is not mine to make, not mine alone at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may forego the formalities of a full assembly, but I will still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? And I nod. Emmerich continues, I thank you. He turns to Lucia and says, our representative, whomever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Handilop that he is to lead in your absence. Lucia says, yes, Lord Commander. Emmerich turns back to Nyra and says, Nyra, pray accompany Lucia to the gates of judgment and make ready to depart for Gridonia. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury speeds you on your way. Ooh, okay. Lucia says, if you have no other business in the city, join me at the gates of judgment. We must be ready to depart the instant the envoy arrives. Alright. Let's go. Let's see here. Yeah, probably. Okay. Sprint. Alright, gatekeeper. Yes, I wish to leave. Yeah, I'll bet that sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, who is it? Who's the envoy? Okay, Emmerich says, we meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as Ishgard's envoy. Okay. Not, I concede, that there was ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction any military cooperation. Be that as it may, I could not in good conscience make the decision alone, not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I should see that the garrison is ready to defend the border. What other games do I play? I play a bunch of other games, but I kind of waffle around between like MMOs and then like PvP. stuff, and then like some creative builder stuff, kind of like Minecraft. And for my PvP fix, I've actually been playing a game called The Isle, though it does have a lot of bugs in it. But you can get some pretty good PvP stuff going on there. And it can be a lot of fun, but the bugs can be frustrating. Yeah. This joke is like, the only thing that's not broke is the interface, so what do they change? The interface. So. Yeah. The Isle's good. I play Ark Ascended sometimes. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, Ark's kind of like Minecraft, but like different. I wouldn't necessarily say better, because Ark has its own issues too, including a developer that's tied to a I don't know what you call them, like a producer or something. But Snail Games is not very kind. They're like kind of greedy and don't play by good rules. But like you can build your base and tame dinosaurs and all kinds of stuff like that. Kill bosses on Ark. You got Evolved and Ascended. Ascended's the new one, Evolved's the old one. But yeah, I don't know. The gameplay Ark is a lot like Minecraft, so. Power Wash Sim 2. I haven't even heard of Power Wash. I don't know what that is. Amaric says, the garrison commander awaits within. Why not accompany me, Nyra? You may see a familiar face. All the suspense. Oh, it's him. Emma Nealon says, Nyra, old girl, how wonderful to see you, and Sir Amaric too. To what do I owe this unexpected pleasures? Hunorat says, I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you'll excuse. Amaric shakes his head and says, Nay, do not trouble yourself, Hunorat. We will soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary, if you will. Lucia says, yes, Lord Commander. And they get filled in. Okay. Emma Nealon says, those villains hardly need an excuse to wage war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as living to a girl. I mean to an imperial. Honorat says, and thus, when we shall strengthen our patrols as you suggest, we shall also be sure to communicate these developments to Lord Francel and the Observatorium. Huh. Okay. Actually, that reminds me, I did play another game. It's called RimWorld. So it's RimWorld. I do find it it relaxing, so, Okay, I come and do that. It's on Steam. Amaric says, I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. Amanelian says, surprised to see yours truly at the helm. Amanelian continues, you and me both, Earl Girl. I doubt I'll ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Oh, it's his picture. He died heroically. The guy in the picture. Amanelian continues, yet we can but play the hand we're dealt, and with a little help from the veterans and Huron's ceaseless chiding, I'm sure I'll muddle through, so worry not, old girl. Off to Gridonia with you. Okay. I think I'll check that out. I don't know if I'll like it or not, or, but I think I might go poke it. Okay, to Gridonia. Okay, now where to? Oh, right there. Hail Sir Amaric. Amaric says, diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am as enraptured by the by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when first I laid eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. Okay. Amaric continues, it seems we are to have an escort to the Lotus Stand, a pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? That's true. Amaric continues, yes, of course. 'Tis like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? Okay. I should be able to teleport. Let's see if we can teleport. Can we teleport? Should be able to teleport. Yay! Teleport. Silent Conjurer says, the envoy from Ishgard is arrived? Very good. This way, if you please. The Lomentian party as well. Oh! Okay. The Admiral says, I had hoped to slip in unannounced, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Amaric. Amaric says, Admiral, always a pleasure. Admiral continues, and Nyra, I trust you are well. 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. Yuguri says, Lady Nyra, I was glad to hear from Riel that the missing scions have now been found. Yes, all are accounted for. The Admiral says, there is much and more I would discuss with you, but let us first attend to the issues at hand, shall we?
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This Griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. And the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies labored to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people, too, would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
I appreciate that.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed? Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift, and there is much to be done.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defenses seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
Okay, that was very interesting. I would really, really appreciate that, because I'm getting close to that goal and I'm starting to get kind of excited. And so I'd really appreciate that if you would be so kind. Aw, thank you. Alright, Amaric says, good. You have yet to depart. I feared I had missed you. Alphinaud says, Sir Amaric. Amaric says, Master Alphinaud, a pleasure as always, and Mistress Alizier. How wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption. I had hoped to thank Nyra for serving as our escort before our duties called her away. I also wish to thank our Domin ally. I would so appreciate that. You have no idea. That would be so stellar and awesome. Appreciate that. Yurgi says, Forgive me, my lord. I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join the conversation, and force of habit made me keep to the shadows. Amaret says, No apologies are necessary, Mistress Yugori. I was most grateful to your interjection when I offered Ishgard support. My nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance pleas for aid is a matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. I am from the USA. How about you? You UK? Amrit continues, the resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were it not for your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the elder seeds here to accept us both. I very much appreciated the gesture. Sweet. Yuguru says, I only did my duty, Sir Amaric. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. Amaric says, and full glad are we to have you. Pray, convoy my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. Ooh, okay. Alize says, whatever is wrong with a simple sorry or thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? Alphinaud says, that is how we adults speak, dear sister. Alphinaud, that's not very... You don't talk to your sister like that, dude. Alize says, mayhap the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We should be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to your reverence toll, Yugori? She nods. There's so much nodding. Alphinaud says, actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I am curious to know how Papa Limo and Yida fared in their talks with the Sylphs. Not to mention what has been going on at Balsar's Wall. I will join you at the Rising Stones anon. Okay, now where are we going? Reverend's Toll, right? They said that. No. There. Yeah. Alice! She says, "Welcome back, Nyra. I don't know about you, but I am heartily glad that all of the talking is over. I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics." That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. Wow, these two don't like each other very much. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Music roll. Okay. Alice says, "Well, as much as I enjoy the bristle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long." Okay. Well, let's go inside. Alright. Okay, Y'shtola says, "You're a return from the council. But what of Elfinold? Did some other matter require his attention?" That's probably him now. Yep. Elfinold says, "Mine apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting over long." Yida says, "Greetings, everyone. Oh, Krill. How's Nagel doing? She will be alright, won't she?" Krill says, "I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru is keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition." Y'shtola says, "Her wounds are healing well. With significant rest, I am certain she will make a full recovery." Yida says, "Thank goodness for that." Y'shtola says, "Now, mayhap you would share with us the council's decision?" "Yes, about that. Well, you see..." Oh, Alice is going to tell. Okay. Alice says, "Each of the nations, Ishgard included, has committed to providing military support to Gridonia. The Erosian Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression." Sweet. Yeda says, I almost wish the council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance." Papa Limo says, "Yeda, you cannot seriously... One does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire." Alphinaud says, "Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there were some way to reach the Griffin. Some means to convince him to abandon this reckless course." Papa Limo says, "It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Balsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo." Y'shtola says, "Which may equally serve as a way in?" Y'shtola. Papa Limo says, "Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the resistance is familiar with me. Yida says, about as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want. I'm coming too. Yugori says, I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. She's basically an assassin. Thancred says, as are mine. It has been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. Ishtola says, 4 is quite significant for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Krill and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you, little affairs? Alphinaud says, I will return to the Ishgard and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worse, 'twould seem wise to be on hand. You can call me Ghost Wolf. That's his. Yep, you can call me Ghost Wolf. Thank you for asking. Would you say your name like, Beaky? Alright. Elfnol continues, might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Nyra? Gridonia will be safer for your presence, and while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask that you remain at the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on? Okay. Pleased to meet you, Beaky. Alize says, to hold the fort, you mean? Very well. I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. And we all disperse. There's so many people in that meeting. Woo. And now there's just me and Alphinaud. Alright. Alphinaud says, if you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray attend to it now. I would depart for the Hawthorne hut without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobstructed view of Balsar's wall, and I should be interested to speak to the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves at its top. Alright. And we will teleport. As nobody likes walking. Okay, it is right there. Hail Alphinaud. Alphinaud says, ah, Nyra, there you are. Come Emerisux's spire awaits. Okay, and I do have a schedule. It's on my profile, so it's currently Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Saturday. So if you wanted to go check that out, that'd be cool. And it does translate automatically to your time zone. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you later. Have a good one there, Beaky. Alphanel continues, the Alliance officers on the platform should be able to appraise us of any developments at the wall. No, sorry, I don't have Discord. Thinkard walks up with Papalimo, Yida, and Yegori, and he says, fancy meeting you two here. We were about to step forth. Alphinaud says, indeed, I was about to say, 12 watch over you. Take care. Bye. Alright, Alphinaud says, indeed, I was about to say, 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Yida says, don't worry, Alphinaud. We'll have the Griffin by the scruff of the neck before you know it. Papalimo says, do make up your mind, Yida. Nearly a moment ago, you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So, which is it to be? 'Twould be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Yida says, trust me, Papalimo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. Papalimo says, I think I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on our way, shall we? Alphinaud says, some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Okay, the spire, which is that way. Thankfully, I can fly. Fly is wonderful. Okay, it is somewhere in the bush over here. Where? Oh, right. Oh, that's probably why they call it a spire. Alright. Cutscene. Okay. Serpent Scout says, welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you are here to speak with our commanding officers? You will find them in the observation platform. Pray, proceed. Alright. Pippin! Hey! Haven't seen him in a while. Alright, Pippin says, greetings, my friends. 'Tis good to see both of you well. And Hilda, too. Okay. Hilda says, I was hoping you might turn out. I've dragged half the watch here, see. And the sight of you might help remind him while we bothered. Rashid Rikiki says, if memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having bore the brunt of your blows, may I say what an honor it is to stand at your side. Alphinaud says, 'tis heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, What news of the wall? Vorsail Helix says, all has been quiet. Too quiet. Versatile Helix says, report? What? 7 hells! Fighting has broke out on top of the wall. A full-scale assault. Pippin says, so the Griffin has made its move. Vorsail says, someone has. Hilda says, and what's that supposed to mean? Vorsail says, the attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Reshien Tariki says, impossible. We have no such order. Alphinaud says, of course. The wall was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We have been goaded into deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to this deception. Vorsail says, if these uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we've launched an offensive. This could mean war. Alphinaud says, even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin's supporters to slip into Alamigo. He could then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Erosia, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. Alphinaud continues, Nyra, we must make for the wall at once. Pippin says, what? Just the two of you? Alphinaud says, our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are, likely, halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin, and if we can do that... Pippin says, Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? Hilda says, ha! I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. Rashi says, we must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. And the Griffin says, "Forward, comrades. The time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who have turned their backs to our suffering for so long." Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. Okay. Ophenolds. Hail. Ophenol says, "From what Papa Limo told me, the trail ahead should lead us to the shadow of the wall. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straight ways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way, but the time for subtlety is past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through to the Griffin. Make him see reason by any means necessary. Once we are free of the tunnels, we will make for your position with all due haste. And if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us all away to safety. I only pray that we have enough time." That sounds like a bad plan. Okay, we have something to unlock now. Alright. Let's see, what we got here. We have... we have an instance. Okay. Okay, what kind of time we looking at? Okay, I do not like waiting on queues. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if this gets us in. Yep, it gets us in. Alright. A dog. Wow. All right. Let's eat an egg and close our map. Where's that tank? There you are. Sprinting. All right. Lilies, that's good. What is that? don't know. They gave it to me again? Oh, can't go that way. Why is he taking so much damage? This hurts. Here we go. Those are nasty tots. Why isn't he using mitigation? Or is he? Oh, can't be saying that. Okay, let's go on, let's go on. Okay. I do not remember being in here. Okay. Boss time. Tank buster. Alright. And there it is. Gotcha. Oh. Nothing to do with that. Why are you slow? Okay, we got a tank buster. Whoa. So much freaking damage. Okay, and tank buster. Yeah, you're fine. Okay. Next section. Well, looks like an elevator. Well, that was trippy. Okay. Oh, okay. I vaguely remember something like this. Just give everyone a hot. Give the tank 2. Should be able to. Holy. holy. Okay. Okay, and that is dead. Perfect. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, there's more than one. Come tank of mine. Don't be taking that much damage. Oh. Oh my goodness. Just go over here. Okay. And okay, next over here. Go ahead and grab that, Sir Tank. Okay. Standing in that, am I? Okay. Okay. Okay, there's one left. Oh, there was one. Okay. Let's greed. Because I can turn that all into seals. Okay. Okay, I just got it. Okay. 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 Now what? Oh, we get to leave. Yay! We get to leave the weird elevator. Alright, another boss. Alright. Oh, that was a lot of damage. Okay, there we go. Yikes. Let's drop that. Freeze! Okay. What is... Alright, let's just go to this. Okay, there we go. And that was down lower. Skeleton's dead, so we switch. Got you. Oh, key. Yeah. Yeah, my sprint is on cooldown. Boosh. Bing. Okay. And quarter. None of that. There we go. Boss time. All right. Ah, it's the Griffin.
Yeah. How'd you like these? Sloppy.
Ouch.
I'll tear you limb from limb. Yeah. Sloppy. For Alamigo! I have you now. Yeah. How'd you like these? Yeah.
In chat here, they're like, "You took that pull well. Most healers freak out." I'm like, "Yeah, don't freak out. I just giggled."
Sloppy.
Oh, and I almost get myself killed.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta sneeze.
Yeah.
Why? Oh. I'm restrained. Ow. Okay.
Yeah.
And there we go. Okay. Let's give everybody a hot. There we go.
Sloppy.
Ooh, too slow.
Yeah.
I'll
tear you limb from limb.
Tastes good? Yeah, tastes good. He's gonna Buster.
Sloppy.
Oh yeah, he's fine.
For Alamigo!
Okay.
I have you now.
Ouch. Okay. We finished it. Yay! Whew. I got 3 columns. Okay. I guess they really liked me, or they're all queuing together.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
You little... Yeesh.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Uh-oh.
Aye! Victory is ours!
Okay.
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
Who's this? Me is an Imperial.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea. They die that others may live.
Oh, I don't like that look.
Vanguards! Attack!
Wait. What?
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
Yeah, it's not good.
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
Oh, that was cute.
Gods help us. What are we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Ralker. Grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are.
As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Ill-bird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand. You truly are a sheltered child, Leveilleur.
Oh, no.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Alamigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
This is really not good.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Become a demon?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Summoned?
You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power!
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
Ooh, this is not good.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
Well, that was a good dodge.
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
this is not good.
This light, is it...
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Wow.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do.
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
Ooh.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days.
Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Timsamati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalimo! I know how that spell works.
Ooh.
It is time to leave.
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go. The further away, the better.
No! If you're staying, then so am I.
No, Ida. There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here. Not like this. Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Ooh, what should I pick? I got two options. Basically to trust Papa Lumo and get on the airship or stay. I want to see... I don't know. What do you guys say? First or second? Huh? I'm going to pick the second. Oh! Okay.
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida.
Again?
Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Griffin on the wall. Gyr says, why? Why didn't you let me stay? Papa Limo is my friend. I should have been there with him. Why are you yelling at the Warrior of Light? I tried to stay too. Thancred says, you could see it in his eyes, Hida. He knew what he was doing. What had to be done. Master Louisoix wore that same look right before the end. Hida says, do you think I don't know that? I know, alright? I know. Thancred says, there is nothing more you could have done. Earbrid caught us all off guard. Even Nyra was powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget that Papa Limo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Gyr says, don't speak to me. Thancred says, leave Hida with me. Go on, go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. Alright. Alphinaud says, once again I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and appraise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Okay. Alright, we need to go here, I believe. Switch. Louisoix says, "'Twould seem you bring ill tidings, brother." Alphinaud says, "I behold the Griffin's mask. We found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilbrid. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. Y'shtola says, "By the 12." Louisoix says, "I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Alphinaud says, indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Papalymo was aware. Oriondre says, thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. Alphinaud says, I have as yet been unable to explain how Abrid came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind-aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Ishtola says that mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Krill, I have need of your assistance. Krill says, Yes, of course. Ishtola says, we must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our relative talents, I dare say, we shall glean some measure of insight. Krill says, understood. I can't promise that I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. Ishtola says, as shall I. Let us be about it, then. Alize says, what? Without so much as a by your leave? Oriondre says, pray forgive Arcan Ishtola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Yida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I, too, must contend with this grievous loss in mine own way. By thy leave, Lady Alize, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Alice says, mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papa Mimo's sacrifice. Alphinaud says, quite. We must begin preparations to face Illibeld's cursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. Yeah. School's out forever. Another one. That's Sid. Alize says, Nyra. I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning, we still have no idea how long it will be before. Alize says, a communication from the Alliance. One moment. Alize says, of course, our representatives will be present. My thanks. Alize turns to everybody and says, word from Gridonia. The council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. Alphinaud says, they wish to discuss the primal, of course. As of Y'shtola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Alizé says, yes, but the Elder Seedseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. Offnote says, a wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Alizé says, well then, I suggest we leave the rising stones in Chitaro's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand. Who's this?
A word, if you would, good sir. This place. It is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port.
That's one way of doing it, I suppose. Oh.
Though, it would perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Okay. Bonk.
Are you all right?
I would say no. Oh, Rionje.
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Alright, speak to the Siren Conjurer. Okay, yeah. We're going to Griffin. Conjurers. Yep, that's where I need to go. Yep, I want to go that way. Let me in, please.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment.
Wow.
Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
Looks like.
So the primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nyra Wulfenshade, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Okay.
That Hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartano since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nyra Wulfenshade, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity.
Okay, he's got a point.
And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
Possibly. Unless it's broken.
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
I mean, he does make a convincing case. But you should keep an eye on him. He's squirrely. One or two. What do I say? One, he makes a convincing case. And two, no, but I'll keep an eye on him. What say you? Don't know. Two? Alright. No, but I'll keep an eye on him.
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice.
Yeah.
Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. It would seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Cartano and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
The other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartano being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
Just straight to killing.
My blade is yours.
No roasting, just killing.
You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
That smile. That's a really forced smile. All right. Elfinold says, well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions. Not least among them, how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. That's a very good question, Elfinold. Very good question. Okay. Ooh, a gift. There's a gift as a reward for this quest. It has question marks on it. Alright. Elfinold says, Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alize is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. Okay. Where do we need to go? Oh, okay. Yeah, we need to go this way. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's out here. I don't think so. I think it's down. Oh, yeah. There we go. Here's Sid. Hail, Sid. Sid says, Nyra, Wulfenshade, ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment. Lest you wonder, Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Exquisitor before boarding. Lovely. Wulfenshade says, and you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of that man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Sid says, calm yourself, Wulfenshade. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yagori are, well, here they are now. Excuse me. That sneeze has been in my nose for a good minute. All right. Oh. Yep. All right. Wulfenshade says, might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Nero says, oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Alize gives him the side eye and goes, hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Nero says, forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. And Sid says, "Alright, while Alphinaud speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Inquisitor over to Mordohuna, and we can reconvene at the Raising Stones." Alphinaud says, "Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit Ursula and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able." Alphinaud continues, "Nyra, pray accompany Alizé back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest." Sid says, "Right, everyone heading to Mordohuna is welcome to travel aboard the Inquisitor. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave." Okay. Ready to leave. Okay. Hilda says, "You are traveling with Mr. Garland, miss. The Enterprise Inquisitor is right this way." Okay. Oh. What a weird place to be. Yes, and in case you're wondering about his airship's name, take a look at the balloons here above the boat shape of this airship. Vaguely familiar to anybody? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hail Sid. Sid says, "Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the Toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Raising Stones then?" Yep, let's go. Okay. Oh my goodness, you're like... Put us all the way out here, Sid? Okay. Nero.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation.
It is?
Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good God, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly. But now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri, you draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
Alright, Tataru says, Nyra, wait! Could I speak with you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we, ambushed you? Tataru continues, well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I'm only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. Oh, well, thank you, Tataru. Tataru says, you can try it on now, right now, if you like. Okay. Wow. I look like Alphinaud. All stuffy. Tataru says, assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light, it's, well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also served in a blood pearl charm to, bring you home. May it always protect you. Alright, okay. I have some glamour sets, or a glamour set. Okay, Yida. Set. Yida says, so we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Alphinaud says, Yida, are you sure that's... Yida says, I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Alizé says, very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphinaud, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist these Chola and Krill? Alphinaud says, a fine suggestion. Sid says, the rest of us will form the Karshanu expedition party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Nyra, Yida, and our Dolmen friends take care of security. Sid says, the Exquisitor is by the lake, just outside town. I'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Alright. This way, yeah. Okay, Sid says, we haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Chartenol before Gossu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard, and given that Elaine Rioli was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new pearl, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. here, or have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. Ah ha ha ha. A duty. Okay, let's go. Let me see here. Am I wearing the right clothes? Yeah, I'm wearing the right clothes. Okay.
Now, where was that? Ah. I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
That was quick.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishers. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland.
Who is this?
Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
All the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Uh-huh. All right. Skirmish time.
You watching, Papalymo? Your defense is lacking.
With Solenstein!
This will sting.
Get out cookie.
Leave this to me.
Tis my right to strike!
It's all over now. An opening.
Sweet.
I have you.
No holding back.
Oops.
No retreat. No surrender.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
You watching, Papanino?
Oh.
The face is lacking.
With soul and steel!
This one will sting.
Leave this to me.
Okay. I swear for a second there I failed. So pay attention. Okay. So Greenwald says, surrender. We have you outnumbered. Edith says, wouldn't be the first time. Nero says, are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. What? Oh. Okay. Nero says, behold, the Red Baron. Now end this nonsense. Greenwald says, what the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor. Forward for the Empire. He's running away. Lovely. Gesol says, the honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray, attend to the rest of his minions. Okay, where's my keys?
It's all over now.
Oh. Okay.
No retreat. No surrender.
Oh, hello. Ah!
With soul and steel!
Okay.
That one. 'Tis my right to strike!
You watching, Papanino?
Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
No moving back.
Your defense is lacking.
Okay, let's see if we can't line these two up. Here we go. Nice.
It's all over now.
Okay.
No retreat. No surrender.
With soul and steel!
This one will sting.
Okay. That.
An opening.
Okay.
Tis my right to strike!
Okay. Retreat. Okay. Where are you standing ground? We'll go back here. House disappears. Okay. Good. Damn, Melissa.
You watching, Pabalimo?
Okay.
Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of Bummer!
No holding back.
Your defense is nothing.
Oh. Ouch. Oh, nice. Just come to me.
It's all over now.
No retreat. No surrender.
With Zolan Steel!
Okay, there we go. Oh, let's get out of there. Okay.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Hmm.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
Or frequency.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess, we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
He's got a point.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Okay, I have a choice of what to say. I can say, well, what do you think? Or I can say, is there any other way? So one or two. One being, well, what do you think? And two being, is there any other way? One or two? What do you guys think? One or two? One? Okay, so one. Well, what do you think?
What do I think?
Nod.
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Pabalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Fly free, my pretty. Show us what you can do.
Neo, I think you're starting to geek out.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
Ooh, that's definitely a dragon. Okay. Pretty blue fire. Uh-oh. Wow. Okay.
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
Sid says, I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. Travel to Gridania. Alright, Sid. Sid says, one moment everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Alright. Elfnold says, words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. Yida says, I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Elfnold says, Yida, wait, we must first... The Seeds here is expecting us. Yugori says, worry not, Elfnold. Gistoru and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. Elfnold says, my thanks, Yugori. Elfnold says, the council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Okay. To the Lotus Stand. Hurrah! Alright. There we go. Alright, Conjure. I wish to enter. Yes. Elder Seetsier says, "My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done." Sid says, "You are too kind, Elder Seetsier. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold?" "We succeeded in waking Omega, aye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed." The Admiral says, "What words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain. But I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Gyr Abania." Amaric says, "The primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics I have never seen, and hope never to see again." The battle raged on and on, with no end in sight, until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegian soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to mine eye it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other." Elder Seetsier says, "While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Sarunio's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Gyrabian side of the border." Rubahan says, "Aye, which is why we have sent our main force, under the command of Marshal Turpin, to capture the wall. With the Imperial's disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to seize Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the council is adjourned." Sid says, "Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly rearranged Omega's status systems, so even if it has fallen into the Emperor's hands, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue." Nyra says, "Correct. Without me to guide their efforts. It would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they managed it at all." Elder Seetsier says, "Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns." Amaric says, "Indeed, I humbly admit that the time has come for us to contact the resistance representatives in Gyr Abania. Though ill-bred has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance given the inevitability of imperial retaliation. And by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. Alright. Alphinaud says, "You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour." Yshtula and the others have gathered at Emerix's spire. I imagine that you, too, would be interested to see what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. Alphinaud continues, "It is decided then. Lead on." Right. Over there. Yshtula.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilburd's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhap she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ooh, face reveal. Oh, she's got long hair.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too, and I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louisoix. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
Okay. What do I pick? What will I say? Will I say, why did you never tell me, or just dots? I'm gonna pick dots.
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
Intimidating. Okay. Alphinaud says, "It was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papa Limo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. Should she ever falter, we will be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk." Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell to Taru and my sister. And we have credits. We are going to skip credits. Yep. Alright. Alicia says, "He may have mentioned, but Alphinaud has appraised me of all that came to pass in Gridonia. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lise has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Gyr Abania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might convincingly save is not wisdom but indulgence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegons and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect do you." Right. And we have a cutscene. Yeah, we have a cutscene. Pippin says, "Quick, march. The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face the retribution." Rubahan. Pippin says, "It is almost time, father." Rubahan nods his head and says, "Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin." Pippin says, "I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me." Rubahound says, "Very well, Airbred. I will take our homeland back." For the both of us. Imperial officer says, my lord Vulsari, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Balsar's wall has fallen to the Erosian Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Imperial soldier looks uncertain and does his salute again. Says, forgive me, my lord. I did not intend. Your will be done. Vilsoroy says, unknown? My spies tell me the Domilons call it Shinru, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. He smiles. The far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their custom crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. Alright. Just got the achievement. 5 minutes of fate. And I do believe... that now concludes all of Heavensward, including all of the post quests, and so I will bid adieu, and we will be starting Stormblood main scenario quests come tomorrow. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed Heavensward with me, and we will be starting Stormblood. So yeah, alright, y'all wreak havoc for the rest of today, and come join me for tomorrow. So, yeah. See y'all later. Have a good one. Oh, there we go. Yep. Have a good one.